Welcome in, everyone. Before we get into a deep analysis during this live, we're just going to discuss a few things that we're going to go over during this live. My son is outside with Julie, so he's in the background, but I like that he's outside. Hi, buddy. Um, but we're going to talk about a few different things here. We have to talk about the Ripple stablecoin. As they announced the name of Ripple stablecoin, so we'll talk about that as well. As they named it to the XRP ledger, or I mean, they at least named it, the name of it, they unveiled it at the XRP Ledger Community Summit. We need to talk about how the whales have been accelerating their accumulation, so something deeper seems to be going on here. And it seems to be very interesting little narrative we have going on here. Well, we'll get into that in a sec. Blue 5, welcome in. JW, good evening, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Mark Caston, good evening, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 months with the XRP Meteor. But you also see in the national narrative, you got Ford's basically calling XRP everything but trash. You see in the mainstream how it's basically, they're making you feel like a criminal if you want to buy and hold XRP. And it's quite the opposite of what's going on here. And I think a lot of people need to wise up, and not just in our audience, just in the mainstream, outside of the news, but like the retail investors that are starting to look away from XRP simply because of maybe it's taking a little bit longer than they thought. You just have to realize when we've been in such a consolidation that's gone all the way back to 2018, and we'll go into this a little bit, going back to 2018 when we hit all-time highs, and how it took 27 months to get to the first support level that held at just over 10 cents in March of 2020. We've not yet done the rest of the consolidation. It is only going until December of 2024. So if you are holding, like, who said that? Kelly said, I've learned to just ignore it. I'm just holding. Exactly like she said. You just hold. If you're holding it, you ignore it. And then you continue to accumulate in the right spots. I'm more speaking to not just the holders. I'm speaking to the ones who are hesitant of buying. I think the holders who are holding and have held strong, and I don't mean that you have to buy and sit through bull markets. I mean the fact that we bought back in early 23 when it was at 34 cents. And then we've been able to accumulate more because we've had times when it's come back down to 40 cents again, and then 45 cents here, to where we've had opportunities. Even now it's under 50 cents. That it's more so for the ones who are sitting there that were maybe in 2021 when it got to $1.75 were willing to throw their life savings on it. But just, it was just too expensive, or maybe they got caught up in it and then sold, or whatever the case may be. But now it's much too expensive for those same people that were wishing, hoping, praying that it could get under 50 cents again. And now it's almost as if you hear crickets. But I'm here to tell you, you don't have to hear crickets, and you don't have to even think that it's a very, I don't even think this is a very, it doesn't even need a deep thought. It's just there's so much nonsense out there and so many people pulling you in so many different directions. The biggest factor is everybody who seems to want to get clicks just says it's going to go to 10,000, or says it's going to go up fucking to $10 right overnight, or $100, whatever. So I think that's a disservice, because if you're trying to actually understand, this is like the next frontier, and we'll get into this in a minute. Let me do the intro here. Good evening. 6:54 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Wednesday, June 12th, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. You know, it really has like a slap in the face. And I was able to observe more stuff when my son was hospitalized for 8 days. It's just that simple. And it like slapped me in the face like we've got to take advantage of a moment. And you don't know how long the moment lasts. It could last 5 months. It could last 2 years. It could last 2 days. You don't know how long the opportunity lasts. So you've got to figure out a plan when you're at these levels. And I don't mean at 49 cents. I mean these levels at a time when we're about to, outside of price action, we're meeting that tipping point. Hamza, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 2 months with the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News. Jorge, welcome in. John Hall, good evening. But it's more than the price. Look how much stuff is being adopted. Not just when it comes to, hey, Ripple's made partnerships with this new country like the Bank of Georgia, or Georgia, for the central bank digital currencies, you know, to help digitize the economy. And not that Japan's using like 80% of its country, or is now basically digitized with XRP. It just doesn't get talked about. And there's so many other places. Like XRP, make no mistake about it, in the USA, it might sound like trash here, but what's going on around the world, particularly in Japan, when you see how innovative they are with it and how integrated it is, that's what's coming. There's a reason why Ripple is trying to expand within the Asian markets, and not just trying, have succeeded. That's the biggest growing, the biggest booming population in the world right now is in the Asian markets. That's where you're getting most people per capita increase. So they're targeting a booming sector of the world, and it's not by accident. And I really feel like we wanted this moment so badly in 21. It's so unbelievable. Just the mainstream. Now, remember in 21 how much they were telling everybody, this is the best thing since sliced bread. You had every influencer on here saying how it's can't miss. This is going to go so high, so fast, so quickly. And now in 24, when you're getting these prices, because all of them lied their reputation on that, we would never go under $1 again. And I know all of you know what I'm talking about. One of them actually became the month 2 badge. But now those people, most of them are nowhere to be found. They've went on to bigger and better coins a lot. One of them's talking about Pikamoon now. One of them's talking about what's the there's just a few of them they're talking about. But it's like the shift, it's like the audible. Oh, this isn't popular anymore, let's go to the next big thing. And it's kind of disheartening, because you need the voice of stability. You need stability. You need to be here not only in the good times, but you want to be here in the bad times, because the bad times are when you get rich. I don't think a lot of people don't understand what I'm talking about when I say that. Nobody ever got rich in a bull market. They got rich in the bear market when they had the foresight to buy before the bull market. Sure, a lot of people can make money, but if you're trying to go from rags to riches, these are the times. These are the times you've got to see a deal. You've got to understand what's actually lying in front of us. And I think there's a lot out here. And I think as we continue on, we're going to grow. The army's going to grow. The XRP army will grow. If you are out there and you like the XRP army, or you like Tom's army, or you just like XRP in general, hit that like button, as we have 31 likes, 71 people watching. I promise you, if you all hit that like button, we can grow this audience. We can grow what we can watch. And the knowledge that we gain, not just from me, but everybody else, from different parts, different regions, different states even, we're able to learn a lot more, honestly. Marvin, welcome in. Sully Mode, good evening. JW, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Somebody asked me, when do I think I'm going to get a haircut? Well, if the whales continue to accumulate like this, and Bitcoin can get north of 70,000 on these pushes now, and it doesn't have to be today, but before we break through around 66K, like we held that area so perfectly, I mean, it could be before the end of the year. It really could. It's just, am I predicting that? By no means am I predicting that. But we are getting to a crescendo point here, one way or the other. Martin Davis, good evening. Kyle Kupiak, I'm addicted to buying. Same. I've been buying through the XRP Bitcoin pairing like it's going out of style. And it's at $5,100 right there now. So I confirmed exactly how much. So I knew it was over 5,000. I exaggerated a little bit on accident. I didn't mean to. I said 5,300, but it's not 53. It's 5,100 solid. John London, welcome in. And thanks for being in Tom's Army for 2 years with the XP 589 Moon badge. And you're the one who asked me, when do I expect to get a haircut? And for anybody new, I proclaimed last July, after I broke my hand, my fingers. Yeah, it was pretty bad. I said I'm not going to How my forearm, for that matter. I'm not gonna cut my hair until XRP hits $1. And now it's been 11 months, and this is how long it's got. Fortunately, I'm 40 and I have nice hair, so you know it's not a bad thing. Definitely makes my face and stuff look a lot bigger. I can agree with that, because every time I do my hair in the morning, I'm like, huh. And then by the time it gets all poofy, I'm like, man, it really does change your the whole dynamic of like the facial structure. But I don't know how to explain it. Like, look at my hair now. This is the longest it's ever been in my life. I once got it close, but it's never been this long. And now it's to the point when I'm walking in the shadows, I can see it like on my shoulders. I got the Falco look from the replacements. Lead tenant says September 27th. Oh, and for anybody who doesn't know, they held rates the same as we suspected. There was no reason to cover the dog and pony show today. I wasn't putting myself through that. When we know in 2 or 3 months they're going to lower rates to be on point with the ECB, but we knew they were setting it up when they said, oh, everything's looking better than it was supposed to be. And they said inflation was a lot lower yesterday than they thought, and yada, yada, yada. So they set it up for a tailor-made hold. Now, if everything was as good as they said, you know, why are we standing pat? We should be raising rates, but they won't do that until after the election at some point. And I think they're setting it up like with Trump too. And I'm not into politics, so I couldn't give a rat's ass about Biden, Trump, blue, red, Democrat, Republican. I know the central banks around the world, but I think they're setting it up for if Trump wins, because he said he's all for de-dollarization. So de-dollarizing the U.S. dollar. He's going to prep up the stock market, and they're going to lower, well, he's not going to, but it's going to be the foster the illusion. And they're already setting it up here. But yeah, I got to take it easy because I don't want to get in trouble, as JW said. Marcy, welcome in. I appreciate you tuning in as always. So yeah, let's look at XRP real quick as it's rebounded today up 2.31%, as we said in the live yesterday. Does anybody remember from the live if you were present? And if you weren't, you wouldn't know. But I can at least get into it real quick. We talked about yesterday, if you were going to take a shot, I would wait until it back tested here around the 474, 473 level. And we hit there, and there was an opportunity to be made, and it came right up to that 4937, a little bit higher. Those were the two technical moves. Look how far back it also came on the drop to 4815. And it's pretty interesting where it came on that drop. Because now we have a perfect expansion zone to where we can even look at, and it looks to me like a bull flag sneakily set up here again, just like on the first drop. But there was an opportunity here to be had. It's right here. And for accumulation purposes, again, if you never bought, it came all the way back down to 40. Where was this at? In the not so distant past here in early June. It went down to 45 cents. So, you know, there's opportunities here. There's definitely opportunities. There could be an inverse head and shoulders playing out in a much bigger fashion here. Excuse me. Did get a lot of sleep last night. My son was up a little later, so I'm definitely feeling it a little bit today. But if this is doing this in a higher fashion, we could be working on an inverse head and shoulders here in the early stages. Then this is just the head coming off. So there's something that could be meeting the eye here, or is not meeting the eye on the grand scale. But ask yourselves, why is the mainstream like Forbes saying that this is a pile of trash? Why is the mainstream telling you that this is going to zero? And at the same time, why are the XRP whales accumulating or accelerating their accumulation? It doesn't add up, does it? You always go against the grain. If they're telling you one thing, you know that they're trying to foster an illusion to keep you out of it for a reason. In the daily time frame, XRP's eking up into a beautiful spot, which it's actually in a much nicer spot here to be able to make a move. In the daily, we came very close to signaling a bigger reversal, but it didn't happen. Mainly because we came back down and kind of squeezed this, and it won't be as top heavy, and it won't even be a reversal candle like we were hoping for, in the sense of we could have ended like in the 50.2 cent range, which I understand. There's still 45 minutes left. But do we have enough mustard here, or enough testicular fortitude, and enough buyers, let's be frank, to push this price action up to over 50 cents right now? I'm not so sure. I am not so sure. But, you know, nonetheless, we have reversed by 2.27%. So we'll watch this as we continue. And if we do push back up in a more profound fashion and we take over some of these resistance areas as we talked about, we will set up a date with this retest, and it's going to happen one way or the other. I don't make the rules. Even if it's bearish, it's going to have to come back up at a 52 cents. This is a long-term cup and handle. Excuse me. Long-term cup and handle. And this resistance point is going to have to be rejected at some point. Like a hard rejection, not come in here and then come back. Like, we're looking for a hard rejection to where you would hit it and just fall out. If it's going to fall out. I'm not convinced here. I'm almost convinced that I messed up the handle. And just hear me out. I'm almost convinced here that I messed the handle up and it didn't actually fall out of the handle. And we started talking about this the first time it dropped. Like, what if the handle is actually this and I'm just a dummy? Because that's what I think is going on. Like, I just think that I didn't take the truest data points as they were given to me, and I got so stuck in that area. But look at if you just open this up. Like, that's the real handle without the mid-tier handle. So technically, has it technically fallen out? Honestly, no. Not if you look at it in reality. And I just didn't have the data point yet. That's the reality of the situation. So once I took a step back, it's like the opportunity here is massive. Told you I had a lot of time in my hands at the hospital. And not good time. Not good time at all. But it turned out to be best case scenario. So, you know, the power of prayer. When more than one pronounce the Lord, or speaking of the Lord, you know how it goes. Half of my audience has hit that like button. 47 out of 94. Please, if you respect the time I put in here, please hit that like button. If we are on the same page here, if you are still holding strong, if you still understand what is going on here, hit that like button. There's probably new faces in here as well. And I understand it takes a minute to warm up to me. I do. Most people will leave before they ever get the chance. But I see what's going on here. And this was my own mistake. We're still much within that handle. We are. It's just a flat support. Look at that. It's so perfect. So, you know, sometimes I got to look at things deeper now that we have the data points. And now we know. We have profoundly. And it makes perfect sense. Look where this comes down to. 42.6 cents. So, I think this is the opportunity. And if it comes down and it's at a third time, and hold on for dear life. Don't let them manipulate out XRP. Don't let them manipulate you out of XRP. Please. For everything you've watched, for everything we've talked about, for everything you believe, don't let them speak you out of a good thing. And guess what? This still is the exact same technical target. It's just we evolved our pattern to where it should be, which I should have done before. But now with this recent come down, and even more, it even brings it into a more bold point. You know, and I'm not always 100% on point. And this is one of those cases where I've done myself and our audience kind of a disservice, because it has the appearance that we were underneath the critical level, when really we're not. We're still much within this consolidation. So the cup and handle is still much going on. So at least we're able to update this. Marvelous Wonderland says, I always watch you on television, so I never do comment. Oh, that's excellent. So you'll be able to see this in full capacity. That's awesome. Because I notice when I do this on my tablet and then I watch it on my phone, oh, it's a completely different experience. Bigger screen is much better because just the way I share the chart sideways. Because technically my tablet's not supposed to be horizontal. It's supposed to be vertical. But I don't update my YouTube. I actually have to delete the Play Store and uninstall all the updates to do it this way. Otherwise, it wants you to do it vertical, and it makes it a nightmare. So, oh, I appreciate that, Marvelous. I really, really do. Martin, my son's doing great. He's been doing his 3 feedings a day. We're up to 160 milliliters. We're trying to get him to 175 3 times a day. But he got a G tube put in, as you know, as some of you might not. We were in the hospital for better part of the whole month of May in 2 separate hospitals. The first one misdiagnosed him, and it was a nightmare. So I drove 3 hours away to Grand Rapids, actually about 3.5, and we went to the Corwell Children's Hospital out there, and it's the best decision we ever made. And they got him the G-tube like he needed. Had a cancer scare because some of his protein levels were so low, and that's because he wasn't eating a lot of protein, and maybe none at all for a while, because he created such an aversion to food from such trauma. So it's we had a real blessing by finding the right people and finding the ones who would look. Yeah, we had to go through oncology and the leukemia screenings and all that, which fortunately came back negative. All the tests were negative. Sending it out to the expert was negative. The one who only studies like bone marrow and for leukemia, they tested his blood under the microscope, which was the scariest 72 hours of my life, I'll be honest. So yeah, but everything ended up being, you know, he's got an aversion to food. It's psychological. He's, you know, his walking will always be messed up. He's got his foot's turned out to the side. He broke his femur when he was 6 months old, and it's never been the same. It's never been the same. For some reason, the orthopedic surgeon never gave him any kind of prosthetics. So, you know, we're going to try to figure that out. But it's, you know, he's going to have issues. He's got a developmental delay, which, you know, you can see right from the videos before the accident when he was 6 months old. I've got videos all the way up to right before the accident, the day before. And his entire facial structure, his features, the way he would act, respond, all changed when we got into that accident. And it's so noticeable. Even on the video I took 2 days after, he had head trauma and nobody acknowledged it. And now he's got to deal with it. Even if they would have acknowledged it, something happened to him when he hit his head. Because make no mistake about it, when you're in a car seat and you break your femur, your head's bouncing off of it. And you know, I've had frontal lobe damage on the left side from when I was, I broke my back in a car accident when I was 23. Then I got a job where I could transport vehicles, which I mean, I can only see out of one eye, but at the time I felt like I was good enough and competent. Well, we got cut off in traffic on a freeway, and it caused like a 3-4 car accident, and I just happened to have nowhere to go. And it wasn't my fault, but I ended up having frontal lobe damage, so I had short-term memory loss when I was 26. And then I went through like 10 years of physical therapy for my back to be able to be normal walking, because I had a fractured vertebrae and herniated L4 and L5. So it was an interesting time. And something a lot of you don't know is I was going to be a professional bowler before they started this 2-hand bullshit, because I don't even bowl anymore because of it. But I was a good bowler. I was the youngest person ever to qualify for the Mid-State Masters. I lied about my age. Told them I was 18 when I was 17. They never looked at my license beyond just looking at it. And I wrote down 82 instead of 83. And yeah, long story short, I came in 3rd place in my first ever tournament. And I got to make some money. But yeah, I got invited down to the PBA, had a full sponsorship paid for to do the tryouts and do all this other stuff for the Pro-Am, and it was for a whole year. So I was going to be able to travel across the country, which would have been cool. I was sponsored by Ebonite and Columbia 300, so it would have been nice. You know, I got all the free balls and bags and shirts. It was cool back then. You know, so, but then that happened 2 months before I was supposed to go, that happened. And then, ironically, like 6 months later, I bowled in a tournament I wasn't supposed to. I could barely walk at the time. And I shot to my only credit to my name, my only 800 series of my life. I shot it in a tournament in Grand Rapids, which is awesome. And yeah, that was pretty interesting. I shot a 300, 268, and 254, because I shot 822. So I think it was 300, 268, and 254. Something like that. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. So yeah, it was a cool time. Unfortunately, my duos partner didn't show up. And, well, my squad's team didn't show up. And even though I shot 8 whatever, we qualified in one of the last spots and ended up playing the best team in the field. And obviously with those sluice balls, we didn't make it anywhere. But I got recognized big time because of my efforts. So it was a pretty interesting time when I was younger. But anyhow, so I had a lot of trauma when I was younger. So seeing it go around with my son and stuff, you know, it brings back the memories and whatever. But, you know, that's why I like this community. That's like I like what we're doing here. You know, it allows me to express myself, but through the charts. I've got a lot of experience in life. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. Some of you might say I am because I'm 40, and some of you might be in your 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. My grandpa turns 90. My last living grandparent turns 90. God willing, in November of this year. Liz Taylor, welcome back to Tom's Army. As you've been in Tom's Army for 6 months plus now with the XRP Predictor. Wow, that name sounds familiar. You were one of the you've been in the audience since I had like what, 500 subscribers? I'm being honest. Haven't you been here since? I was gonna say you're one of my first subscribers. I know that name. I also know that face. You've been here. You were here way back in the beginning. Wow. See everybody, that's somebody all the way back from like now we have 22,000 subscribers, which back then that seemed like a pipe dream. But now it's so weird to have so many people following. But anyhow, I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Thank you for that. I love seeing the members rejoin or getting new members of Tom's Army. I really, really do. I really, really do. And we're 2 months away on some from getting the 3-year badge, so that's awesome. Yeah, she is a OG of the OG of the OG of the OGs of the motherfucking OGs, as we used to say. Oh, yeah. Kryptonian, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 3 months plus with the XRP Meteor. I greatly appreciate that. So, anyhow, getting into this a little deeper. Yes, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Marvelous says you're a good God, man. Yes, you're a good God, man. Yes, indeed. Indeed. So we're looking at the cup and handle, but most of you might be here to see like the prospects of what's going on with the whales. What? Huh? Oh, I gotta go unlock the front door for Julian, our son. I'll be right back. You can look at the brick wall behind me, I guess, in the tree. Alright, everybody. Sorry about that. I didn't want her to have to walk all the way around and then, go let him in. So, a big part of what I want to talk about here right now, while I have everybody's attention, is, yes, we've talked about the price action. We'll look at Bitcoin. We know XRP Bitcoin pairing's up about 1.12% today to the 721 sat level, which is bringing me practically, I'm even now. When I looked, I think I'm even, which I was like, wow, I was down a couple $100 when it had that drop, like literally. And I've been very transparent, but I've been building my XRP position through the XRP Bitcoin pairing. And right now, yeah, I'm up $1.14. $1.14. And remember, I told everybody a couple days ago, we're down like $300 and something in that pairing. So it got back to even here, which is nice to see. And it's at the 721 sat level right now. So we'll get into that in Bitcoin in just a minute. But I want to read this before anybody leaves. So I know a lot of you pay attention very deeply, as I do, to what the XRP whales are doing. And they are accelerating the accumulation when we were around the 50-cent level. So that's right where we're at right now. So they're buying here for a reason. They, like we can suspect, the 2 for $1 is a good deal. Like we see in front of us. I believe that's a tremendous deal. I think we all understand what we're looking at here. The ones who hold XRP are the ones who are accumulating into XRP right now. And as we said, there's a get out of jail free card to where if we break down the consolidation that started in 2018, well, technically 2020 when the support hit, you have a get out of jail free card, and knowing that if it were to break that structure, which ends in December of 24, if it broke bearish, it's a 35% drop. And then it pulls you out another 6 months at best. At worst, it could go until like December of 2025. I mean, at worst. So, there's a way to be able to dump it and then buy it 35% cheaper if it did go that route. So then instead of putting 35% more, you could pause it, sell it, and then end up getting it back for 35% cheaper instead of putting in 35% more money, if you understand what I'm saying. Or you could take 35% of your investment back, which I would not advise. I would just add more, take advantage of that opportunity. But, what do I know? I'm not a financial advisor, so I can't advise you to do anything, right? It reminds me I'm going to roll one. I wish I had one out here, too, but got a little busy with my son before I started. Dirty Dozens, welcome in. Marvelous, I know you have a relationship with my Father, Jesus Christ. Oh, I want to finish reading that. I have an intimate relationship that goes beyond the church. You have such a great testimony. Yes, indeed. I really believe I do. That cussing is taking me back to the old days and times. I mean, indeed. It comes out. It comes out. I seen somebody said that they seen how much I've grown in 3 years. It's true. I'm a completely different influencer. I still push the same message, but I can do it in a more profound way now. MC Prosperity, welcome in. I appreciate seeing you in here as always. Imminent breakout. XRP whales accelerate accumulation around 50 cents. In recent weeks, XRP has increasingly consolidated around the 50-cent mark as investors await a possible breakout. Notably, amid the dormancy in XRP's price, new on-chain data indicates that whale investors have been accumulating the token, possibly in anticipation of a rally. Particularly addresses with at least 100 million coins have been buying more XRP tokens during the dip in the first 10 days of June. Adding weight to this observation is the mean dollar invested age MDIA metric, which provides further insight into investor behavior. As of June 1st, the 90-day MDIA for XRP stood at 1,812, indicating investors prefer to hold on to their XRP holdings rather than engage in active trading. For anybody who wants to know more about that, we talked about that in the first update this morning, but I kind of circumvented that one because I did another one 2 hours later because I had a lot to say. That took me 28 minutes. I encourage you to watch that one. It's the one that talks about the time of opportunity. The time of opportunity, because that's where we're at. I've been calling it the accumulation phase, which it is, but this is the time of opportunity. The ones who many years from now will realize that this was the true time of opportunity. So when looking at the next XRP price target, Analyst Dark Defender has suggested that the token might be lining up for a possible rally. In an X post on June 12th, the analyst noted the cryptocurrency had formed a familiar pattern from 2017. The analyst observed that on a weekly time frame, and it's always good to push some against their own time frame, XRP had positioned itself above a critical support level, echoing past instances where the token demonstrated resilience amid market turbulence. Rock and XRP Painter, you work for him as well. Excellent. Thanks for being in town for over 6 months with the XRP Predictor as well. Amen to that as well. I need to finish reading that one comment. You reminded me too. But hey, it's like they say, when one or more people speak his name or profess his word, he's with us. God's with you when more than one person speaks his name. And I love thinking that with the community, with the ones I know who speak of the word as well in your own way, because I know it brings a more profound impact. It does. It's stated so clearly. If more than one, is speaking the name, but let's continue. So the analysts observed that on the weekly time frame, XRP had positioned itself above a critical support level, echoing past instances where the token demonstrated resilience in market turbulence. Moreover, indicators suggest the possibility of a forthcoming reversal, with sentiment teetering on the brink of oversold territory. According to the analyst, crossing above 66.4 cents and breaching the $1 resistance mark are pinpointed at pivotal moments. And do you understand right now, like for me personally, when I had 10,000 before, when that was my goal, $1 is $10,000. Now it's hard for me to even fathom. But if XRP hits $1, I'll have over $22,000 in just XRP. It's hard for me to fathom that that's the case. It makes my mind want to go, holy smokes. Moreover, indicators suggest a possible, and we just read that. The other side of the orange line, the resistance stands around $1. It will be easy above 66.40 and $1, the expert says. At the same time, the expert provided a chart indicating that the price is testing support line of the ascending channel, and on area that historically provided a good entry point of bullish positions. It's true though, this is a good area. It's a good area of opportunity, and like I said, my RSI invert. So when it's oversold, I put it to the top so that we can see, boom, to the downside would be a rise in price. I just like it better like that. I can't explain why, I just do. Maybe I'm just upside down from everybody else, but I prefer it that way. And everybody tuning in, thank you so much. 100 people, wow. Thank you so much. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I do need your help. Hit that subscribe button, as it's very hard to get anybody to watch stuff on XRP these days, to at least expand the audience. Fortunately for me, I have a very dedicated audience, and we're growing little by little every day. Join the 22,100 plus subscribers. As I know, we at least picked up one person today, because it was at 21,000 or 22,108, but I always hesitate to say it, because then it'll be down like 5, and then I'll have to be like, oh, we're under 22,100. So, but anyhow, Humza says, I got you on the speaker. I'm here though. Excellent. Excellent. And I missed my comment again, because I keep forgetting. I must have missed it. 2 more dips. We are in countdown. Yes, we are marvelous. Still in the back. Yes, JW. I got laid off from work. Kryptonian says, sadly, but have severance and 401k. Well, that's good. At least you have a severance and 401k. I'm really thinking about going all in. Thoughts? I live in a house that's paid for, no bills. Well, the only thing I can tell you is I've often said, and look I can just speak from my own perspective. Every dollar that I've been able to put through, that I have right now, I've been starting to put through, in different ways. But in my own perspective, I don't think I would put all your life savings from that 401k and severance, because you never know what can happen. What if you put it in at 46 cents or 49 cents and it goes to 27, and then all of a sudden you need some of that money, and then you got to sell it at 50% loss just to see it go up 10x. You got to be diligent with that. Put a portion of it that you were looking to invest. Sure, that's one thing. But I also would advise you to do it as time goes on as well, because I don't know how large your position is, but I certainly wouldn't do it all in. Even though it's a nice time, what if it goes to 39.9 cents? Julie Arwine, welcome in. And thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XRP 589 Moon badge. And that's my significant other. Some of you know that, some of you don't. Let's see. Stochastic oscillator is near the oversold region, suggesting potential for upward movement if historical patterns repeat. If the support line holds, a bounce back towards the upper trend line could occur, potentially aiming for the $70 to $1 range over the next few months. Although XRP has failed to replicate the movement of assets such as Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency has several underlying fundamentals likely to spur a breakout. For instance, if the ongoing Ripple Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) is ruled in favor of the blockchain firm, it could act as a catalyst for XRP's rally. The catalyst of all catalysts. Additionally, Ripple's continuous expansion of its networks of partnership with financial institutions worldwide brings much needed credibility from institutional involvement. Indeed, the market also anticipates that XRP will likely rally once Ripple rolls out its stablecoin pegged to the US dollar. And it's funny they speak of that, because the next article we're going to read speaks directly of that, as they've given the name of the Ripple stablecoin. So we'll get into that in just a minute. At the time of reporting, XRP was trading at 49 cents, having rallied by over 2% in the last 24 hours. On the weekly time frame, XRP was down 6%. For the short term, XRP appears to be consolidating between the range of 47 and 50 cents. Notably, and if you want to talk about the real range right now, it's about 53.3%, and it goes between 39.6 and 63.3 cents approximately. In that pattern range, it's going to continue its consolidation December of 2024. Kryptonian says, thanks for the thoughts. Tom, I left out. I don't want to go back to work. I understand. Humza says, I also lost my job working for cash right now. That sucks to hear. I mean, I'm glad you're working for cash and you're making some money, but it's hard to read so many people losing their jobs. And, you know, the administration talks about how everything's going strong, but all these jobs are closing down, and I see it firsthand. It's amazing. And not just in the U.S. Globally, I'm talking. If you think it's bad here, it's just as bad around. So, let's see. So in the short term, XRP appears to be consolidated, yada, yada, yada. A breakdown below 47 cents could lead to further declines, with the next support levels likely around 45 cents or lower, which is true. It'd be around 39 cents if we do break these levels. Now, for some of you, I have to read this as well, and then we'll go back into the technical analysis, which I thoroughly enjoy. But I do have to get to the news of the day, obviously. You know, it's been different sitting down the last few lives. It makes it a lot easier, to be honest. Yeah, it does, actually. It's a different camera angle, but it still looks cool. Ripple CEO unveils new stablecoin name at the XRP Ledger Community Summit. And if you do appreciate my work, consider joining Tom's Army. Get that emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. I'd love to see new members in the Army, as we could continue to grow the Army. Or consider sending one YouTube super chat per month. No donations today, but that's not mandatory. You're here to learn, and maybe one day, if I help you gain, you'll reciprocate it in the pay it forward mentality, because I put out all my content for free, and I'm proud of that. Always have, always will. And a significant announcement at the XRP Ledger Community Summit, XRPL Apex, held in Amsterdam from the 11th to 13th of June 2024. Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple, unveiled the name of Ripple's new stablecoin, RLUSD. That sounds about right. Garlinghouse expressed his fondness for the name, stating, "I like to call it Real USD." I can see that. Ripple USD. This development marks a major milestone in Ripple's journey, as stablecoins like USDC, USDT, and more are gaining traction in the digital currency world due to their inherent stability. This new development from Ripple is a testament to the growing success and importance of stablecoins in a digital landscape. Wow. MC Prosperity, thank you so much for the $20 donation. That's unbelievable. Seriously, thank you so much. Those always help out more than anybody could ever imagine. Really, seriously. Thank you, MC Prosperity. I want to read that comment. Go XRP, keep up the great work, Tom. I really appreciate that, my friend, so much. Thank you for the continued pay it forward mentality. That's just so freaking cool to see. It always tickles me in the best possible way when I see somebody send a super chat or join Tom's Army or continue in the Army, as Liz did today, to put their hard-earned money towards something that I've, put together myself, and I've learned over 3 years how to make it better. And it's still nowhere near where it'll be by 28. I'm still in the infant stage, and I still suck at what I do in a good way. Which means, that I can acknowledge that there's a lot to learn, means that you guys are always going to get a more innovative program as we go on. So, let's see. I think that's it. I think that was all we needed here. I feel like crypto can pop off as quickly as I was let go from work. Yeah. That's funny that you can laugh at the situation, but it's true. It really can. It really can. And somebody asked about Bitcoin, and that was actually funny. Bitcoin, they asked about the inverse head and shoulders. Yes. It's on an inverse head and shoulders, which, you might not have been here, but we've been talking about this for quite some time. I said it takes some balls to short Bitcoin. And a lot of people, honestly, when Bitcoin dropped this time, a lot of people started talking like, oh, well, apparently smart money knows what they're doing. 1.38 billion shorted Bitcoin, not acknowledging, and the shorts would be liquidated at 71K. Not acknowledging those positions were taken out around 65.5, 66K. And that when it went to 70,200, over 600 million out of that 1.38 billion was in fact liquidated. So the fact it went down to 66K is nothing. These shorts are being taken out around 66. It never even came, if you look at the initial drop, it's never even come down that far. It didn't even test it. Not this time. It came down here, but it never came down past this range where we had come before in past times. Like, everybody's betting against it, and that was around 66K. You know, so the fact we came back down there after pushing up, like, my point is we came all the way down here, 66, and when it came back down here again around 66.5, had a lot of shorts taken out. Came all the way up here to 70,200, liquidating 600 million roughly out of the 1.38 billion of the shorts. That'll get liquidated at 71K. Came back down to 66,000. If you think that was going to be enough for them to even have any kind of real profit to sell, no, they were just happy that they went back on the right side of town. No harm, no foul. Now they feel like they sat through what was the hardship. Not even realizing we're one more kick back up with that liquidity tug of actually breaking through 71K like it's nothing. If you're in that short position that gets liquidated at 71 and we get on top of 70,200 and hold, you better put your head between your legs and pray, because you are all but wiped out. I'd be scared shitless right now if I was in that short. And I'm not telling you to sell a short if you had it, but it's very difficult for me to tell anybody to take a short on Bitcoin when we are on the top side of a pennant flag breakout. And as we've been talking, and I took it off, but I'll put it back on here because somebody mentioned the inverse head and shoulders. Everybody who's a fan who's been around knows we've had this on here. We were talking about boom, 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 and out. It's the inverse, and I think we started even here. Boom, boom, and then saying if it breaks out. But then we started to say, well, maybe that was just a consolidation. And then what I had drawn out here wasn't even that in depth. The way we had it left here before it started breaking back up is we said inverse left shoulder, inverse head, inverse left shoulder, inverse head, inverse right shoulder. But I believe we went boom, boom, like something like that. But yeah, there's absolutely the inverse left shoulder, inverse head. But does that mean it comes all the way back down here? We don't know. Or does that mean that this is the inverse right up? We don't know. But it definitely looks like the inverse head and shoulders is absolutely panning out. How deep it wants to go in depth, nobody knows. Could we get that back test right here again? Absolutely. The good news is for the bettors who are going long here, Bitcoin is trying to very seriously put in a reversal candle. It's got 23 minutes and it's not going to come where I wanted it to. If you want to have a top heavy, it's going to be squeezed here towards the end of the day. You wanted it to be around 69,500. We don't have that kind of steam, folks. Just like with XRP, it's not happening. So, when we start looking at this, and this is why positivity over negativity as well, when we're commenting and we're having an active discussion. Guys and gals, when you have passion, positive passion and that positive motivation, and it's just a more positive environment, we don't play the victim, we play the winner. We don't like to hate on people, we like to help. We love over hate. We're not hurtful, we're helpful. When you have that mindset, love is infectious. And when you know nothing but love, that's the true word of God. It really is. When you see people through love's eyes, when you see things through love and you push on love, look at how that positively impacts somebody you come across. Think of all the communities you've gone into just on YouTube or on social media, TikTok, Twitter, and all you see is fighting. It doesn't make you want to really comment. And if you do, you want to say something to stir things up. I'm about something more than that. I think we can achieve something huge here, because the bottom line is there's only 280,000 wallets that hold 20,000 or more XRP. That's it. 280,000 holders worldwide that hold 20,000 or more XRP. And everybody says, well, they can't make so many people rich. There's nobody holding it. Nobody's holding this. As far as most people are concerned, this is garbage. Nobody holds this. But most of the people that hold it are whales, which to me is not a bad thing. And like, there's so much here. This is really trying to break out in a big way. In a really big way. And we're coming to a few crescendo points here. And I'm going to be very eager to be here, sitting here along the ride. I really, really am. So that's a good enough with Bitcoin. The XRP Bitcoin pairing, we're still within this bull flag as I see it, consolidation. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. In fact, we're starting to try to break out here. And this would mean something for the XRP price action as well, as it would speak to some appreciation. Remember when I said the daily, the 4-hourly, and all those would catch up to the weekly and oversold? It's starting to catch up. Weekly's massively oversold. Daily's oversold. 4-hourly was breaking up. Now it's pushing back into a bullish territory. So we could start to see some massive appreciation here pretty quickly. And the next big area is 740. It doesn't seem like a lot, but the fact that I'm up $1.21, I think it's at right now on 5,100 basically, is, you know, 2.7% on 5K. It doesn't seem like a lot, but that's already 125 bucks in the profit right there. I mean, you could basically do whatever you wanted if you're just looking for chump change. But I'm looking for this. Imagine if this, and I'm not even going to speculate, but every single time that Bitcoin or the XRP Bitcoin ratio has been this out of whack, and pay attention. And I'm not saying it's get rich quick overnight scheme, get rich quick, because a lot of people are figuring out finally XRP is not a get rich quick scheme. Neither is this. But every time in the history that this has bounced down to these layers and bounced off of, sometimes it went through it, but as long as it bounced off of the 466, the move that it actually makes is profound. And this time it's bounced off it, now it's consolidated back down. Last time it bounced up, consolidated down. Bounced up to here, consolidated, broke out. Bounced up, consolidated back. We have not broke out at all yet. In fact, we came all the way back down and back tested it. Look at some of these breakouts just from the 738 level. 1,000%. The next time it did it, all the way up to 2,100%. So you're talking about 10 to 21x. Even when it did the worst possible, when it was 488%, and it's still consolidating. I do have a lighter. What happened to the other one I gave you? Interesting. You know, Julie, every time I get a new lighter, she always has one, but then somehow she gets mine, but then she'll have 7 at once, and it works out all for the best a few days later. But yeah, so right now we've never had the breakout, and in fact, we're still consolidating in this descending channel. It's basically a descending channel. That's what you could call this. I guess it's a narrowing wedge, you could call it as well. It's just opposite. I mean, it's closing right now. So, I mean, there's a lot of reasons to be excited here. And this is speaking of something massive coming in time. It's just, we never know where the bottom is. And right now, it put in this bull flag, and it looks to be breaking bullish here soon. 721, a break over around 722 and hold. You're 740, and then up to the next big sat level is to come back to this downtrending resistance at about 794. So I'm very, very intrigued, and I'm not missing out on these opportunities. I told everybody in 21, my goal was to get back to 10,000 tokens, because I sold in 21. I only had like 7,200 tokens, but I had other tokens. I had XLM. I had a little bit of XDC. I had some DGB that made me money. But when I sold out, I had a 47-cent average, sold out for $1.66 if you're new. Well, I told everybody my goal was to get 10,000 back, and I got to use a lot of money and buy precious metals when it was $1,600 for gold, and silver all the way down to $16, and you see where it's at now. So that money's doubled in silver almost, and in gold it's up $700 an ounce, which my money's getting bigger. But then I was able to keep $3,500 initially for XRP, and then whatever else I wanted. Well, all the other things I had were up well over 100%. In some cases, 400%. I had AMP that went up and made almost $3,000 in 72 hours, which was incredible. So I was able to expand deeper into what I'm doing. And a lot of that money now has found its way into the XRP Bitcoin pairing, ironically. And I was able to do what I needed to do when XRP was at 34 cents. Build into it, and now it's had times when it's dropped to 41, it's dropped to 45, but the XRP Bitcoin pairing's been as low as 658 sat level. I've been able to add through the Bitcoin pairing very sneakily. It's so out of whack, it makes me feel like I'm buying silver to one day convert it into gold so that I can just have gold. As to where right now, you could convert XRP back into Bitcoin, and then when Bitcoin, when you have the ratio in your favor, you can put it back into XRP, or you can just take the cash, or just leave it in XRP as a holding. You got it by the balls, basically. So if you have the testicular fortitude to do it like this, there's an opportunity.
I like how you hold it like a wave.
Yep. And I can't stress it enough. If you have not traded XRP and your excuse is I can't trade it in the USA, or I need to use a VPN, or it's illegal, video description below and or pinned comments, there's BITUNIX. You don't need to do a VPN. You don't even need to do a KYC unless you send money from a bank account or receive it from a bank account. You don't need to do anything if you're sending from another crypto exchange either. That's in the video description below and or pinned comments. It's the lowest spot leverage trading fees in the USA. I do this comparison all the time for the new members. If you're on Uphold, get out of there. Unless you have some kind of reason to be there. Uphold, if you buy, and I can do it right now again, and I love doing this little, I love doing this, and we're in more of a high times of volatility right now. So on Uphold, let's just assume we have $4,000 or $5,000. So I want to buy 10,000 tokens, right? To buy, and I'm not buying 10. I've already got 22,000 plus. Insane, right?
It's an example.
This is an example though. So if I want to buy it, I'm right on Uphold. So I want to buy XRP. I want to buy 10,000 tokens. So with the fees, it's going to give me a price. I want to do it through USD. It's going to cost me $5,020. It's making me buy it at 50.2. Just hear me out. The price is 49.1 cents. It's making me buy it at 50.2 cents. That's a differential in price from 49.1. We'll put it to 49.2 to give them the benefit of the doubt, to make them look a little better. I'll even do it from 49.29. But to buy it at 50.2, I mean, it gets a little absurd. I mean, you're talking over 2.2%. No. I'm not doing it on, I'm just showing an example. If you bought 10,000 tokens on Uphold right now, it's $5,020. If you buy it on Uphold. If you buy it on BITUNIX, and it's just an example, folks, I'm not actually buying. So $5,020 on BITUNIX. If I buy it, and let's just see. I'm gonna do the amount. I'll just do $5,020 because that's what it costs on Uphold, and I'll see how much I get. So I get 10,209 XRP. Well, some people would say, well, Tom, that's not too bad right now. It's not as bad as before. Okay. Well, 209 XRP. 209 XRP times 0.04 or 0.492. That's $102.82 in fees on the buy. Now, if you sell it, there's another $102. So that's a $204 you're going to get charged to buy 10,000 XRP. So, that's up to you. So if you're a swing trader, imagine if you're looking for a quick hitter, a couple percent. Well, now you've got to make 5% just to make 0.75% after the buy and sell. You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't do it. And then in high times of volatility, you bet your ass that it's even worse. High times of volatility, you can double that. When it's in high times of volatility on Uphold, it's not unusual for it to be a 7 to 9% spread. And if you guys think I'm bullshitting, for anybody listening, you know who's watching. When I sold out on Uphold, I was mortified. When I sold my XRP, and XRP alone, and I've told this story a lot. The XRP alone was a massive, actually I said 7,200. It was 70, well, we'll just say 7,200. It was a little bit more. Times $1.66, $12,000 was the value of XRP. Well, when I sold it, my charge was almost $800 on XRP when I sold it. So my $12,000 became like $11,200. I was so pissed. I couldn't believe it. So that's why I endorse these other exchanges like BITUNIX that has never turned their back on XRP, ever. Despite the lawsuit, it's always been around. And still not turning their back. So it's in the video description below. I'll share it in the pinned comments real quick. We're not done yet, but we are towards the end of this live. It's been a very passionate live, but I hope I've led you guys on the right path. I really, really do. And if you appreciate my work, don't hesitate joining Tom's Army or considering joining one YouTube super chat per month to help fund the program. It really is appreciated more than most people could ever even imagine. Like, it really, really is. And BITUNIX is in the USA and worldwide, but that's that. And MEXC, so in the video description below and our pinned comments, take advantage of BITUNIX. Please don't get held by the balls by Uphold unless you have to. Or unless you've already positioned in, like Sean's been in there and he's consolidated his holdings as well as he's been able to. But like if you have Flare on there, okay, you know why? Because they're offering you on Uphold, they'll give you airdrops, but you're not getting the full amount. That's the only thing that sucks. Yep. In BITUNIX, though, a lot of people will contest, or will at least attest to this. There's a lot of liquidity there. You can store your money in United States Digital Tether and United States Digital Currency. They're up during high times of volatility. Customer service is fucking quick as hell. They don't tell you you gotta wait 3 days. You send a message and you'll be shocked how quickly you get responded to. That was the #1 thing I took notice of, and it took me 7 months after a few people in the audience told me I needed to look into this before I even suggested it to the audience. It's that simple. Bifrost wallet for Flare 2. That's a great suggestion. I need to look into that more. I do. I need to look into that more. So I'm XRP Future Millionaire. If you got anything out of this, please make sure to hit that subscribe button before you leave. XRP Healthcare, and I got some complaints that it's 20%. It says APR. And remember, APR is annual percentage rate. That's your annual percentage rate. So I was looking at it in the wrong regard. If you lock it up for a year at a time, you get 25%. As to where if you do 6 months, you'll get 10%. Well, it's not that I was looking at it in the wrong regard, if you hear me out. And then when you lock it up again, it's over the year. So some people are concerned, saying they might be getting ripped off. That, hey, it says 20% APR over 6 months, but it's only calculating at 10%. Now, that's not true, though. It's 10% if you only do it for 6 months, because it's doing it over the annual percentage rate, and that's over 1 year. So it's telling you if you do 6 months and then another 6 months, you'll get 20% if you do it 6 months at a time. And that's because you're going to get 10% of your holdings and then relock it back up instead of just getting an additional 5% after a year. So it's actually in your benefit if you average it out to do it like that. But just be aware of that, because I looked into it as people were saying, but then I was like, wait a minute, it's 20% over the year and it's not claiming to be anything else. So just pay attention to that. Decent wallet I'm getting next, been meaning to. I've heard a lot of good things about that wallet. For XRP Healthcare, though, right now it's back testing this resistance at 5.4. If it gets rejected here, it could come down a little bit lower. But I have nothing but time for XRP Healthcare. I know something big is playing out. I mean massive. Oh, baby, I mean massive. And when I say massive, I mean massive. This is like taking healthcare to a new frontier, and it's scary what it's trying to do. Not just that, if you don't have health insurance, or pharmacy coverage, I should say, you can use XRP Healthcare. God knows that's what I have. And I can use my XRP wallet, and you have to build a trust line with like 12 XRP, and that's how you open it. That's all you have to do. And you can get prescription coverage up to like 85% on many well-known prescriptions. Like, that's a benefit to have. And to think it's on here, right on the wallet nonetheless, where you stake it, is tremendous. And it's just, their plan is to have XRPH accepted in every hospital worldwide by the year 2025 or 2026. They want to make the XRP Healthcare, and you know how they're making telehealth a big thing now. Even my son's first G-tube appointment with the surgeon, we've already had to go in person at a different hospital, but with the surgeon in person, the first one's a televisit until it's 4 months when he has to get the balloon changed out. So a lot of things are going telehealth, and they're on the forefront of this. It's insane. It's insane what's happening right now. And not just that, accepted worldwide in pharmacies as well. So this is the frontier, and this is on the ledger. And we talked deeply about this, and I have over 55,000 staked right now. So I have over 61,000 after I get my first set of staking. So I've almost, it'll be just almost 5,600 total more after the staking. So I hope a lot of you paid attention during this as well. It's just not advantageous for me to accumulate anymore. Can we get 2 more likes before I leave? 2 more likes will get us to 100. That would be awesome. If 2 of you forgot to hit the like button, hit that like button before you leave. But I got to get going here. I got to go deal with my son and Julie. My son's going to have a feeding here, but it's been an honor and a privilege here to spend this time with everybody. I can see the passion coming back to our community, mainly for myself as well. But holy crap, up to 104. You guys and gals are awesome. You are all so awesome. Take advantage of everything that I've shared with you this evening. Take advantage of BITUNIX. And if you need to, there's MEXC for worldwide users outside of the USA. That's where I trade XRP Bitcoin pairing. Unless you're a new user, you've already signed up on MEXC, it's going to be very difficult to do that. So just pay attention to what's going on. Have a blessed evening, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Eastern.